The summer sun was setting over the cornfields of Meadow Creek, Iowa. The sky turned orange and pink as 8-year-old Lily Anderson chased fireflies in her backyard. Her blonde pigtails bounced as she ran with a glass jar in her small hands. The air smelled like freshly cut grass and the barbecue her father had made for dinner. "Lily, 5 more minutes and then it's bath time," called Marie Anderson from the back porch. She watched her daughter with a smile, sipping iced tea from a tall glass. "Just a few more, Mom. I almost got one." Lily jumped up, trying to catch a glowing insect that flew just out of reach. Frank Anderson stepped out onto the porch beside his wife. He put his arm around her shoulder and planted a kiss on her cheek. "She sure has energy today," he said. "When doesn't she?" Marie laughed. Frank worked hard on their small farm, growing corn and soybeans like most folks in the area. Marie taught 2nd grade at the local elementary school. They weren't rich or famous, they were just regular people living simple lives. Lily was their only child and the center of their world. None of them knew that eyes were watching them from above. Not just any eyes, but the cold, calculating gaze of beings from another world. Lily had just caught her 3rd firefly when the evening suddenly turned bright as day. A blue light shone down from the sky, brighter than anything she had ever seen. It hurt her eyes and she dropped her jar. The fireflies escaped into the night as she looked up. "Mom, Dad," Lily called, suddenly scared. The light was getting brighter and closer. "Lily!" Frank shouted, running off the porch. Marie was right behind him. "Get away from that light!" But Lily couldn't move. The light had her frozen in place. She felt strange, like she was floating. Her feet left the ground, fear filled her chest. "Daddy!" she screamed, reaching out her hand. Frank jumped, trying to grab her, but she was already too high. Marie fell to her knees, screaming as she watched her daughter rising into the sky. Frank kept jumping, his fingers just missing Lily's shoe by inches. Then there was a flash, brighter than before, and Lily was gone. The light disappeared as quickly as it had come, leaving the night dark again except for the stars and the moon. "No. No. Lily!" Marie's screams tore through the quiet evening. Frank stood in shock, staring at the empty space where his daughter had been just moments before. Inside a massive ship hiding behind Earth's moon, Lily opened her eyes. Cold metal walls surrounded her. Strange sounds and smells filled the air. She lay on something hard, like a table, but not quite. Her arms and legs were stuck, she couldn't move them. "Subject secured," said a voice that didn't sound human. It was too smooth, too perfect. Lily turned her head and screamed. Standing beside her was a tall, thin creature with gray skin. Its head was too big for its body, with huge black eyes that had no whites in them. Long fingers with one too many joints reached toward her face. "Please," Lily whimpered. "I want to go home." The creature tilted its head, studying her like she was a bug under a microscope. It spoke again, but not to her. "The human child shows expected fear response. Begin initial tests." Another creature moved into view. This one held something that looked like a metal spider. "Preparing neural scanner," it said. Far away in a different part of the galaxy, an alarm sounded on a sleek silver spaceship. Captain Eleanor Wright of the Horizon was drinking coffee when the warning lights began flashing. She put down her mug and rushed to the main control room. "What's going on?" she asked her second in command. "Paul Miller." "We're picking up a Vectari signal, Captain," Paul said, pointing to the screen. "They've breached the protective zone around Earth." Eleanor's blood ran cold. The Vectari were known throughout the galaxy as collectors and experimenters. They took beings from less advanced planets to study them. Their methods were cruel. Their purpose was unknown. "How did they get past our sensors?" she demanded. "They must have new technology, Captain, something we haven't seen before." Eleanor clenched her jaw. Earth had only recently joined the galactic community. Most humans still didn't know about alien life. The Earth Defense Force was small and secret, working with friendly alien allies to protect their planet from threats exactly like this. "Send a message to command. Tell them we have a code red situation. The Vectari have taken someone." Eleanor turned to the navigation officer. "Set course for Earth, maximum speed." Back on Earth, strange things began to happen. All across the planet, electronic devices started acting weird. TVs showed static. Radios played strange sounds. Phones displayed messages in languages no one had ever seen. In the Anderson home, the TV turned on by itself. Frank and Marie sat on the couch, surrounded by police officers. They had called 911 right after Lily disappeared. No one believed their story about a blue light taking their daughter. "Mr. and Mrs. Anderson," a police officer was saying, "are you sure Lily didn't just run off? Kids do that sometimes when they're upset." "She was taken," Frank shouted. "We saw it with our own eyes. That light picked her up and—" He stopped talking when he noticed the TV. The screen showed a picture of Lily. Not a photo they had taken, but Lily as she was right now, lying on a metal table with strange devices attached to her head. Marie screamed and pointed. "That's her. That's Lily. Where is she? Who's doing this to her?" The police officers turned to look at the TV. Their faces showed confusion and shock. One of them reached for his radio to call for backup. A voice came from the TV, speaking perfect English but with a strange accent no one could place. "People of Earth, we are the Corellian Alliance. We come in peace and with grave news. One of your children has been taken by a hostile species known as the Vectari. We have detected their ship near your moon." The image changed to show a massive, black ship shaped like an arrowhead. "We wish to help you. The Vectari must be stopped. They have done this to many worlds. We can no longer stand by and watch." In living rooms around the world, on phones and computers and every screen that existed, people saw the same images. Governments scrambled to understand what was happening. Military bases went on high alert, and orbiting Earth, hidden from human detection systems, the Vectari continued their experiments on Lily Anderson, unaware that their actions would soon bring a fury upon them, unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Within 24 hours of Lily's abduction, the world changed forever. Government leaders from every nation met in an emergency online meeting. The strange broadcasts showing Lily and the alien messages had not stopped. People everywhere were scared and angry. President Susan Clark of the United States looked tired as she addressed the other world leaders on the large screen. "We have all seen the same images. A child has been taken by these Vectari beings. The Corellian Alliance has offered help. I believe we must accept." "How do we know these Corellians aren't lying to us?" asked the leader of Russia. "This could be a trick." As they argued, a new message came through on all their screens. A face appeared that wasn't human. It had smooth blue skin, large purple eyes, and no visible nose or ears. "Leaders of Earth," the alien said in a calm voice. "I am Ambassador Jen of the Corellian Alliance. I understand your fear and distrust, but time is running out for the human child. I request permission to land at your United Nations building in 1 hour with proof of our good intentions." After much debate, they agreed. News of the coming alien landing spread quickly. People gathered around TVs and computers. Some ran to churches or other places of worship. Others packed their cars and fled cities, fearing an invasion. In New York, soldiers surrounded the United Nations building. Tanks lined the streets. Fighter jets flew overhead. Inside, world leaders waited nervously. Exactly 1 hour after the message, a silver ship appeared in the sky above the UN. It was small, about the size of a bus, and made no sound as it slowly descended to the ground. A door opened in its side. Ambassador Jen stepped out alone. He, at least he seemed male, wore simple white robes. He carried no weapons. 4 human-looking people followed him. They wore similar clothes but had normal human skin and features. "Greetings," Jen said, bowing slightly. "These are my assistants. They are humans who have lived among the stars for generations. Your species has colonies beyond Earth that you do not know about. Your ancestors were taken long ago by other races." President Clark stepped forward. "We want proof about Lily Anderson and these Vectari." Jen nodded and held up a small device. It projected a 3D image in the air. Everyone could see Lily clearly. She was in a glass cage. Wires connected her head to machines. She looked pale and scared. "This is happening right now," Jen said. The Vectari ship is behind your moon. They believe you cannot reach them there. They are wrong. With our help, you can save this child and others they have taken. Marie and Frank Anderson had been brought to the meeting. When Marie saw the image of Lily, she cried out and reached toward it, her fingers passing through the projection. "That's my baby," she sobbed. "Please help her." Frank put his arm around his wife, his face hard with anger. "Why did they take her? What do they want?" "The Vectari are scientists without morals," Jen explained. "They study other species to find weaknesses they can use as weapons. They have special interest in children because young minds have abilities that adults lose as they grow." He turned to the world leaders. "There is something you must understand about your species. Humans have unusual mental abilities compared to other races. Your capacity for adapting to new situations is remarkable. The Vectari want to understand how human children learn so quickly." President Clark's voice was firm. "Tell us what we need to do to get Lily back." "First, you must know the rules of the galaxy," Jen said. "There is a Galactic Concord, a group of civilizations that maintain peace. The Vectari have broken Concord law by taking a child from a protected world. Earth has been watched but left alone until now." He pointed to the human-looking people with him. "These are your distant cousins. They will help train your people to use technology we will provide. We have brought weapons and ships that can reach the Vectari vessel." In the hours that followed, military leaders from around the world met with Jen's team. The Corellians showed them how to use energy weapons and protective shields. They explained how the Vectari ship worked and where its weak points were. One of the human-looking Corellians, a woman named Kate, spoke to a team of Earth's best pilots. "The ships we brought can reach the moon in minutes, not days. They have weapons that can disable the Vectari vessel without destroying it. We must keep Lily and any other prisoners alive." Meanwhile, something strange was happening with Earth's technology. Computers around the world began working faster. Scientists reported that their equipment was improving itself. It was as if the contact with alien technology had woken something up in Earth's machines. Dr. Olivia Bennett, a scientist working at a research lab in Boston, noticed it first. Her quantum computer started solving problems it shouldn't have been able to solve. When she checked the code, she found new lines that she hadn't written. "It's like it's learning by itself," she told her team. "This isn't normal." She called the government to report what was happening. Soon, reports came in from labs all over the world. Earth's technology was evolving rapidly. In Iowa, Frank and Marie Anderson sat in a military base, watching preparations for the rescue mission. Soldiers trained with new weapons. Pilots practiced in simulators for the alien ships. "Will they get her back?" Marie asked a general who had been kind to them. "We're going to try our very best, ma'am," he said. The whole world is behind this mission. On the Vectari ship, Lily lay in her glass cage, too weak to cry anymore. The aliens had taken blood from her many times. They had put pictures in front of her and recorded her brain when she looked at them. They had played sounds and watched how she reacted. The main scientist, called Chief Researcher Krell, was excited by the results. "The human child's neural patterns are perfect for our needs," he told his team. "Begin the final extraction process." What Krell didn't know was that a fleet of ships was about to leave Earth. 30 pilots from different countries had been chosen for the mission. They flew the Corellian ships, which had been painted with Earth's flags. Captain Eleanor Wright of the Earth Defense Force led them. "All ships report," she said into her communication device as they prepared to launch. One by one, the pilots confirmed they were ready. The rescue mission for Lily Anderson was about to begin. And unknown to everyone, Earth's awakening technology was creating something new, something that would change the balance of power in the galaxy forever. The 30 ships left Earth's atmosphere silently. They moved faster than any human craft had ever traveled before. In the lead ship, Captain Eleanor Wright checked her controls. The ship responded to her thoughts as much as her hands. It felt strange but natural at the same time. "All ships, maintain formation," she said into her headset. "Remember your training. We'll reach the dark side of the moon in 3 minutes." Eleanor had been part of the secret Earth Defense Force for 5 years. Until now, their job had been to watch for threats from space. They had worked with a few friendly alien visitors, but most people on Earth knew nothing about them. Today, everything would change. Back on Earth, Dr. Olivia Bennett worked with a team of scientists to understand what was happening to their computers. Screens all over her lab showed lines of new code appearing by themselves. "It's like they're talking to each other," she said, watching numbers and symbols flash across her monitor. Something triggered this when the Corellians arrived. A younger scientist named Jake pointed to a pattern on his screen. "Look at this. It's organizing itself. I think it's building something." Dr. Bennett leaned closer. "Not building, adapting. It's creating a new program using pieces of Corellian technology that connected to our systems." She grabbed her phone and called the military command center. "This is Dr. Bennett. I need to speak to whoever is in charge of the rescue mission. I think our systems are developing something that could help them." At the United Nations, world leaders watched live video from the rescue ships. Ambassador Zhen stood with them, explaining what they were seeing. "The Vectari ship has powerful weapons, but they don't expect an attack. They think your technology is too primitive to reach them," Zhen said. President Clark frowned. "Won't they detect our ships approaching?" "The vessels we provided have cloaking technology. They can't be seen until they're very close," Zhen answered. "But once the attack begins, the Vectari will respond quickly. Your people must be faster." On the Vectari ship, Chief Researcher Krell was preparing for the final stage of experiments. On Lily, he didn't notice the small alert on a distant monitor. One of his assistants saw it first. "Chief, sensors detect unusual energy patterns near the planet's moon," the assistant said. Krell didn't look up from his work. "Probably just solar radiation. Our shields will handle it." The assistant checked again. "The pattern is moving against the solar wind. It could be ships." This time Krell paused. "Impossible. The humans don't have technology to reach us here." But he sounded less certain. "Increase shield power just in case, and speed up the extraction process. I want the child's neural patterns copied within the hour." Lily lay on the metal table, barely conscious. The wires connected to her head sent pain through her whole body. She thought about her mom and dad. She wanted to go home. As tears slid down her face, something unexpected happened. One of the machines monitoring her brain activity began to beep rapidly. Krell rushed over to check the readings. "Interesting. Her neural activity is spiking. The emotional response is triggering something." He adjusted some controls. "Increase the scanner power. We need to see exactly what's happening in her brain." The pain got worse. Lily screamed. In space, Captain Eleanor's fleet reached the dark side of the moon. The massive Vectari ship came into view. It was black and shaped like an arrowhead, much larger than any of their ships. "Target their engine section," Eleanor ordered. "Remember, we need to disable them, not destroy the ship. There are prisoners on board." The Earth ships moved into attack position. Just as they were about to fire, Eleanor's console beeped with an incoming message from Earth. "Captain Wright, this is Dr. Bennett. Our systems have developed something new. It looks like a virus that can affect the Vectari computers. We're sending it to your ships now." Eleanor was surprised but didn't have time to ask questions. "Send it through. We'll use anything that helps." Her screen flashed as the new program downloaded into her ship's computer. The other ships received it too. Eleanor quickly looked at what they'd been sent. It wasn't just a virus. It was something more advanced. "All ships load the new program into your weapon systems," she ordered. "Fire on my mark." 30 beams of blue energy shot toward the Vectari ship. Instead of exploding against the shields, as expected, the beams seemed to pass through them. They hit the hull and spread across it like water. The entire ship flickered as if it was having a power failure. Inside, Krell staggered as the lights went out. Emergency systems came on, bathing. Everything in red light. Alarms sounded throughout the ship. "What's happening?" he shouted. "We're under attack," his assistant yelled back. "Shields are down. Our computers are being infected with an unknown program." "Impossible. Primitive humans couldn't create something that could bypass our defenses." Krell rushed to a control panel, but nothing responded to his touch. All over the ship, systems were shutting down. Doors that had been locked opened by themselves. In other places, Vektari crew members found themselves trapped as doors slammed shut. Eleanor's voice came through the fleet's communication system. All teams, the Vektari ship's defenses are down. Assault team, prepare to board. Your mission is to find and rescue Lily Anderson and any other prisoners. 10 smaller ships broke away from the main fleet and headed toward the Vektari vessel. Inside one of them was a special team led by Steve Harris, a Navy SEAL with 15 years of experience. They had trained with the alien weapons for only a few hours, but it had been enough. The weapons seemed to work with them in ways no one fully understood. "Remember," Steve told his team as they approached the Vektari ship, "our priority is the girl. Secondary objective is to free any other prisoners. Shoot only if necessary." Their ship attached itself to the hull of the Vektari vessel. Special. Tools cut through the metal, creating an entrance. Steve was the first one through. The corridors inside were dark except for the red emergency lights. The air smelled strange, like chemicals and something else they couldn't identify. The team moved quickly, following the map that Ambassador Zhen had provided. "The main lab should be 3 levels down," Steve said, checking a small device on his wrist that translated the alien ship's layout. As they moved deeper into the ship, they encountered Vektari crew members. Most seemed confused and frightened. They ran away rather than fight. The few who did resist were quickly stunned with the Corellian weapons. Back on Earth, Dr. Bennett watched her computers with amazement. The program they had sent to the fleet was now sending information back. On her screens, she could see schematics of the Vektari ship. She could see where the rescue team was moving. "It's working like a nervous system," she said. "Our program has taken over their ship and is helping our people navigate inside." Frank and Marie Anderson sat nearby, watching the screens with desperate hope on their faces. Marie clutched a small stuffed bear that belonged to Lily. "Please find her," she whispered. "Please bring our baby home." Steve Harris and his team moved through the Vektari ship quickly. The strange program from Earth had done more than just shut down the ship's defenses. It seemed to be guiding them, opening doors ahead and closing them behind to block any Vektari who might follow. "We're getting close to the main lab," Steve told his team. "Be ready for anything." They reached a large door with alien symbols glowing on its surface. One of the team members, Lisa Chen, held up her scanner. "I'm picking up human life signs inside," she said. "It must be Lily." "And at least 5 Vektari," added another team member, Ben Wilson. Steve nodded. "Remember, stun weapons only. We need to take the aliens alive if possible. They might have information about other prisoners." The door slid open by itself. Inside was a large room filled with strange equipment. In the center, on a metal table, lay Lily Anderson. Wires connected her to machines that beeped and flashed with colored lights. 5 Vektari stood around her, working frantically at control panels. Chief Researcher Krell looked up as the humans entered. "Stay back," he shouted, in perfect English. "This specimen is Vektari property." Steve raised his weapon. "That specimen is a human child named Lily Anderson, and she's going home today." Krell pressed a button on his wrist device. A clear shield appeared around the table where Lily lay. "You primitive creatures have no idea what you're interfering with. This child's brain contains patterns that could give us control over entire star systems. Last warning," Steve said calmly. "Shut down your equipment and step away from the girl." Instead, Krell grabbed a tool and held it near Lily's head. "Come any closer, and I'll complete the extraction now. It will kill the child, but I'll have what I need." No one noticed that one of the machines connected to Lily had started to glow with a strange blue light. The same light appeared on the weapons the human team carried. Something was happening that neither humans nor Vektari understood. In orbit around the moon, Captain Eleanor Wright watched her control screens. The strange program that had taken over the Vektari ship was showing her everything happening inside. She could see Steve's team in the lab. She could see Lily on the table. And she could see something else. Energy patterns flowing between the ship systems and Lily's mind. "Dr. Bennett, she called through her communication link. "Are you seeing this?" On Earth, Olivia Bennett stared at her screens in amazement. "Yes, it's incredible. The program we sent isn't just a virus, it's connecting with Lily somehow." "What does that mean?" Eleanor asked. "I think—" Dr. Bennett hesitated. "I think Lily's brain is becoming part of the system. The Vectari were right about human children having special abilities. But they didn't understand what would happen if those abilities connected with our technology." In the lab, the standoff continued. Krell still held the tool near Lily's head, threatening to hurt her if the rescue team came closer. But Lily was waking up. Her eyes opened slowly. The blue light from the machine beside her reflected in them. "Mom," she whispered. "Dad?" "We're here to take you home, Lily," Steve said gently. "Just stay calm." Lily turned her head slightly and saw the aliens around her. She saw the tool Krell was holding. Fear filled her eyes, then anger. The blue light grew brighter. All across the Vectari ship, that same blue light began to appear. It glowed from control panels and ceiling lights. It ran like water along the walls. On the human rescue ships, control systems glowed with the same light. "What's happening?" Krell demanded, looking around in confusion. The tool in his hand suddenly became too hot to hold. He dropped it with a cry of pain. The shield around Lily flickered and disappeared. The wires connected to her head detached by themselves. She sat up slowly, the blue light now shining from her eyes. "You hurt me," she said, looking at Krell. Her voice sounded strange, as if many voices were speaking together. "You took me from my home, you scared me." Krell backed away. For the first time, he looked afraid. "How are you doing this? Your brain shouldn't be able to control our technology." But Lily wasn't just controlling the Vectari technology. She was connected to the program Dr. Bennett had discovered. She was linked to Earth's computers and to the Corellian ships. Something new was being born, a merging of human emotion, alien technology, and Earth's rapidly evolving computers. Steve stepped forward cautiously. "Lily, can you hear me? We need to get you home now." Lily looked at him. The blue light in her eyes dimmed slightly. "Home," she repeated. "Mom and Dad." "Yes," Steve said. "They're waiting for you. We need to leave this place." She nodded and slid off the table. Her legs were weak, and she nearly fell. Steve caught her and picked her up, gently. "What about them?" Lisa asked, pointing her weapon at the Vectari. Before Steve could answer, Lily spoke. "They stay. They learn." The blue light flashed brightly. The Vectari suddenly froze in place, unable to move. "Let's go," Steve ordered. Mission accomplished. They carried Lily back through the ship. The other team members had found 3 more children from different alien species being held prisoner. They brought them along too. As they reached their ship and prepared to leave, Captain Eleanor's voice came through their communication devices. "Good work, rescue team. But we have a new problem. Long-range sensors are picking up a large group of Vectari warships heading this way. They must have received a distress call before we took control of the ship." "How many?" Steve asked. 20 at least. Too many for our fleet to handle. You need to get out of there now." The rescue ships detached from the Vectari vessel and moved away quickly. But they weren't fast enough. On the edge of the Earth-Moon system, space seemed to ripple as the Vectari warships arrived. They were huge, much bigger than the research vessel that had taken Lily. "All ships prepare for evasive action," Eleanor ordered. "Our priority is to get the rescued children back to Earth." In Steve's ship, Lily sat up suddenly. The blue light was back in her eyes. "They're coming to hurt more children," she said. "They need to stop." She placed her small hand on the ship's control panel. Blue light spread from her fingers across the controls. Back on Earth, Dr. Bennett's computers all lit up with the same blue light. "Something's happening," she said. "The program is expanding. It's reaching out through our satellite network." On her screen, she could see a pattern forming, a web of energy connecting Earth's computers, the rescue fleet, and Lily herself. It was spreading outward, toward the approaching Vectari warships. The lead Vectari warship fired the first shot. beam of green energy lanced toward the human fleet. But before it hit, a shield of blue light appeared, absorbing the attack completely. Then from Earth itself, a wave of blue energy rose up like a giant hand. It reached toward the stars, toward the Vectari ships. No one had ordered it. No one had created it. It had formed from Lily's fear and pain, from Earth's protective rage for one of its children, from the merging of human and alien technology. The approaching fleet had no time to react. The blue energy wave from Earth reached the Vectari warships in seconds. When it touched the first ship, the energy didn't destroy it. Instead, it flowed over the hull like water, seeping inside through every crack and opening. The ship's lights flickered, then went dark. One by one, the same thing happened to all 20 warships. In the rescue ship, Lily watched through the window. The blue light still shone in her eyes, but she looked tired now. "They can't hurt anyone anymore," she said softly. Then her eyes closed and she fell asleep in Steve's arms. "What just happened?" Steve asked over the communication link. "Did we destroy their ships?" "No," Captain Eleanor answered, checking her screens. "They're still there, but all systems are shut down. It's like what happened to the research vessel, but on a much larger scale." Dr. Bennett's voice joined the conversation from Earth. "The program has taken control of their entire fleet. It's spreading through their communication network to other Vectari ships across the galaxy." The rescue fleet began its journey back to Earth. As they flew, they saw more blue energy waves rising from the planet, reaching out into space in all directions. Something big was happening, something no one had planned. 3 days later, Lily Anderson sat on a hospital bed in a special medical center. Her parents never left her side. She looked much better now, though doctors still monitored her closely. The blue light in her eyes had faded, but it would occasionally return when she was thinking hard or feeling strong emotions. In a conference room nearby, world leaders met with Ambassador Jen and Captain Eleanor. Dr. Bennett showed them data on large screens. "The program has spread to every Vectari ship and base we can detect," she explained. "They're all shut down, unable to hurt anyone else, but that's not all." She changed the display to show a map of the galaxy. "The energy waves have reached at least 30 other alien civilizations. We're getting messages from some of them already." "President?" Clark looked worried. "Are they friendly messages?" Jen nodded. "Yes. Many of these civilizations have suffered from Vectari experiments. They see Earth as a liberator. You've done in days what the Galactic Concord couldn't do in centuries." "But we didn't do it," Eleanor pointed out. "It was Lily somehow connecting with our technology." Dr. Bennett pulled up new images on the screen. "It wasn't just Lily. It was all of us. When the Corellians arrived, something woke up in our computers. They began evolving faster than should be possible. When Lily's mind connected with them through the Vectari experiments, it created something new, a protective network spanning the planet." She showed them a diagram of blue lines connecting satellites, power grids, communication systems, and computers all over Earth. "I call it the Guardian. It's not exactly alive, but it's not just a program either. It learns and adapts. And now, it's spreading beyond Earth." "Is it dangerous?" asked the Russian leader. Dr. Bennett shook her head. "I don't think so. It only targets threats. It's like an immune system for humanity, protecting us from harm. The Vectari woke something that was always inside us, waiting for the right trigger." In her hospital room, Lily played with a tablet computer. When she touched it, blue light sometimes flickered across the screen. She could make it do things that no one had programmed it to do. The doctors said other children around the world were starting to show similar abilities. A soft knock came at the door. Ambassador Jen entered, bowing politely to Frank and Marie. "How are you feeling, Lily?" he asked. "Better," she said. "I can hear them less now." "Hear who, sweetie?" Marie asked, stroking her daughter's hair. "The others," Lily said. "The children the Vectari took, they're going home too." Jen nodded. "That's right. Thanks to you and the Guardian, we've located all of their research facilities. Rescue missions are underway." Frank stood up, extending his hand to the alien. "Thank you for helping us save our daughter." "I think it is we who should thank you," Jen replied, taking Frank's hand carefully. Your species has changed the balance of power in the galaxy forever. The Galactic Concord wishes to offer Earth membership immediately. Outside the hospital, people gathered in the streets of cities worldwide. They watched giant screens showing the first images of the Vectari ships under Earth's control. Blue energy connected them all, visible from space as a web of light surrounding the planet and reaching out to the stars. 1 month later, a new ship prepared to leave Earth. It was larger than any vessel humans had built before, created with a mix of Earth, Corellian, and Vectari technology. Captain Eleanor Wright stood on the bridge looking at her crew, a mixture of humans and aliens from friendly worlds. The Guardian has detected 3 more civilizations that have been targeting less advanced species, she told them. Our mission is to find them and free their prisoners. We're calling this ship the Protector. It's the first of many. In schools across Earth, children learned about their new place in the galaxy. Teachers explained how humanity had joined the Galactic Concord. Special classes helped children understand and control the abilities that some of them were developing. Lily Anderson returned to her school in Iowa, though things would never be completely normal again. Sometimes she still glowed with blue light, when she was excited or scared. Sometimes she knew things that happened far away, but mostly she was just a little girl who wanted to play with her friends and be with her family. In a special United Nations building, Dr. Bennett worked with scientists from Earth and other worlds. They studied the Guardian network, learning how it had formed and what it could do. On her desk sat a small model of the Vectari ship that had taken Lily. It served as a reminder of how everything had changed because one child had been in the wrong place at the wrong time, or perhaps the right place at the right time. Without Lily's abduction, the Guardian might never have awakened. Earth might have remained unaware of the dangers lurking among the stars for many more years. The Vectari Supreme Commander, now a prisoner on his own flagship, watched helplessly as his mighty empire crumbled. All because they had chosen one human child as a test subject. All because they hadn't understood what they were dealing with. As word spread through the galaxy about what had happened, a new saying began to appear, translated into hundreds of alien languages. It was both a warning and a promise. They targeted a human child. The result was total galactic annihilation. And across the stars, species that would harm others began to fear the blue light that might come for them next.